What's going on, YouTube? Ferocity here. Hope you guys are doing well. It's been about 4 months since the release of Black Ops 6, which means we've had about 5 months, if you include the beta, to try out the new Omni movement system. So my question to you today is, what do you think of Omni movement? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Would you like to see it explored in future Call of Duties, or should it just kind of remain more or less a novelty for Black Ops 6? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below in that comment section. Now, for me, in my opinion, when it comes to Omni movement, it's not very simple. It's not a simple, yes, I'd like to see it in Call of Duties moving forward, or no, it should stay in Black Ops 6. I think there's a bigger discussion to be had when it comes to this movement system. Because for me, I don't think it's been completely capitalized on in Black Ops 6. I think it's been held back at times. Because I see its potential when I play zombies, for instance. I'm sure it has amazing potential in Warzone, for better or worse. But in multiplayer, it doesn't seem like they've been able to master map design around the new movement system. Everything feels too fast, too chaotic, over the top, and it doesn't work. Part of what I used to love about Call of Duty wasn't the overall chaos in it. It was the calm that you could find within the chaos. And unfortunately, there is no calm to find in it with Omni movement. And it gets to be kind of wacky in some gunfights as well, when you just have people jumping and sliding and doing this and that all over the place. And it just, I don't know, for me, isn't the best, especially when you're in these tight, close quarter areas of maps. I immediately think of like the top floor of that cabin in Payback, where like somebody can just be like booty sliding and jumping all over the place. And because the corridors are so tight, it's hard to track. And yeah, I'm old, yeah, I'm bad, but still, I just don't really know if that's the layer of gameplay I'd like to see. But I do want to see it in a future title just to see if it can be improved upon from what we've seen so far. And it sounds like it's going to be in the next iteration of Call of Duty, this Black Ops 2 sequel that doesn't really sound like it'll stay super true to the source material, especially if it brings in Omni movement, and in addition to that, might even have wall running. I'm not really sure. But here's the one thing I will say, and this is why it's not a simple answer for me. I feel like whenever Call of Duty does do something innovative, whether it's a movement system or anything to do with the gameplay, they kind of beat you over the head with it until you're sick and tired of it. Take Tac Sprint, for instance. Outside of Black Ops Cold War, Tac Sprint's been in every single game, and I think people are just kind of over it. You know, we see it with the new Slipstream perk. I don't really think it's necessary in Call of Duty anymore. And they've just had this in as like an innovative movement technique for 4 iterations of Call of Duty, and it's just kind of lost its flair. There's no use for it. Actually, it's been in 5 now, pardon me. But that's what Call of Duty's done. They like to just release things and beat you over the head with it until you're sick and tired of it. Look at the futuristic setting they used to have. Advanced Warfare, into Black Ops 3, into Infinite Warfare, which had one of the worst received trailers of all time because people were tired of the futuristic setting. They wanted to go back to boots on the ground. And this is something where Call of Duty needs to just learn from their past mistakes and separate themselves from trying to build on the last year's game, and instead try to build individual identities for each franchise within their own franchise. Like, Black Ops should have its own identity. Whatever Sledgehammer Games works on should have its own identity. Personally, I think they should go back to the Advanced Warfare series and try to explore that. See if they could innovate a little bit further. And same thing goes with Infinity Ward. Let them do their own thing in the modern timeline and capitalize on that, giving each game a distinct different feeling from a distinct different studio. But now what we've done is we've kind of amalgamated all the studios together so they have this cohesive branding and this cohesive look and feel because we need to cater to Warzone. And I just don't think that's the right way to go about it. Like, I'd love to see Omni movement not be used in the next Call of Duty game and be revisited again in Black Ops 7. That might be better for the franchise, so that we could get a little bit of differentiation. Maybe that's one of the reasons why I like going back to Black Ops Cold War so much, is because it doesn't have any of these wacky, zany movement techniques. It's pretty simple. You can slide, but your boots are on the ground. You're not jumping around, sprinting in every single direction. It's a pretty simplistic game, and I like that. It can be chaotic at times, but again, you can find that calm in the chaos. It's not a perfect game, but it is something that I miss from Call of Duty. I really wish that Activision would push their developers to differentiate themselves from one another. That's what I'd like to see. It would make every Call of Duty feel a bit more refreshing. Because what have I said this entire year? The maps don't feel like Treyarch maps. They feel like they've been designed and released by Infinity Ward. And that's not what I want in a Treyarch game. I want it to feel different than when I play an Infinity Ward game or when I play a Sledgehammer game. And that used to be the case. Go back and play Black Ops 2. It feels infinitely different from MW3. Sure, there isn't anything vastly different in the gameplay, but the art style and the different map elements, they all feed into what make those games different from one another. And I used to love that, and we just don't have that anymore. It'd be nice to bring that back. So to bring it back around to the Omni movement system, I don't hate it. I would like to see it tried again with better map design behind it, with it really trying to capitalize on the Omni movement system instead of it feeling more or less like an afterthought, like they needed to do something to bring the gameplay another layer of chaos. I just don't think it's the right call to bring it back again next year, because you're going to get awfully tired of it relatively quick. It's just not going to feel like a novelty, and it should feel special. It should feel innovative, but it's going to fall apart rather quickly when it's in every Call of Duty moving forward, and it's something that now you could take or leave. Like we had with the advanced movement era of Call of Duty, like we had in the futuristic era of Call of Duty as well. It just became bland and boring. And if we switched it up, like I've always said, the fatal mistake of Infinite Warfare was the fact that it went to the future. If they had released a modern era game, they released Modern Warfare Remastered that year, which is what I mostly played. But if they released a modern era game that year, they would have crushed it. Look at how good Battlefield 1 was received at the time, because everybody was tired of advanced movement, futuristic setting. We wanted something more grounded. So that's just kind of the warning that I'm going to put out there for Call of Duty. Just because you have a good thing doesn't mean you need to beat every single game to death with it. Try to innovate outside of that. Let Treyarch handle Omni movement, and let whatever's happening this year be different. Whatever's happening in 2026 with Infinity Ward, let it be different, and just allow these games to have their own identity. But what do I know? Honestly, we're not going to see that. They see an opportunity to capitalize on the success of Omni movement, or at least what I perceive to be success, and they're going to run with it until it stops being successful. So how long that takes, I don't know. But again, I'd love to hear your thoughts about this down below in the comment section. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more videos from me, please hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.